is live.
Good morning. Welcome back to Battle of Bunker Hill 2018. Our first game of the day, a WFTDA matchup of Twin State Derby's Upper Valley Vixens versus the She-Devils of Penn Jersey Roller Derby. We are up and running. Biohazard Jess with the star for Upper Valley. They're in blue. That's Twin State Derby. And the She-Devils in red. That would be Monster fighting it out. Oh, actually, that's Danny Longlegger fighting it out. Taking lead, that's 080 for the She-Devils. My name is Beautiful Banshee. I'll be bringing you this fantastic matchup here at Battle of Bunker Hill 2018. We have the pack in the backstretch. Danny Longlegger calling it off before any points accrued by Twin State Derby with a total of 4 for the She-Devils. Oh, make it 3. 3-0 first blood drawn by She-Devils at just under a minute in. And we'd like to thank all of you joining us via the YouTube stream here, put on by Mass Maelstrom. We are grateful for the fact that we have a high-quality stream for the low price of free $99. And I hope you're all enjoying this dose of Derby as you wake up on this beautiful Sunday morning. Lead status going to the She-Devils. That's Ray Animator wearing the star. Bertha Blue Blazes with the star for Twin State. Pat keeping it slow in turn 1. Reanimator juking around that last line of defense, despite Hershey Bad's effort to hit her at the end. 4 points up for the She-Devils. That's a total of 7, and Upper Valley picks up 1 point, so they are now on the board 7-1. Volta Morgan on the jammer line for Twin State. Her opposition is Sneaky Spice. The best kind of spice, of course. For the She-Devils, not lead as there was a no penalty. So that means lead's still open and the opportunity exists for Volta Morgan. We're seeing the She-Devils defense attempt to swarm Volta Morgan. They're doing an effective job holding her in turn 2. Meanwhile, Sneaky Spice sneaks right by, adding 5 to the She-Devils tally. Lead jammer status to Volta Morgan. That brings the She-Devils to 12 points to Twin State's 1. And quickly, your Twin State Roller Derby Upper Valley Vixens. Here is our charter roster. 1111 Schemestress, 13 Pumpkin Carver, 1984 Mariski Business, 206 Elizabeth Taylor, 24 Jagged Little Pill, 2400 Midnight Crasher, 25 Wild Rumpus, 30 Pain in the Derriere, 313 Chickadee Wallop, 35 Slamwise Gamgee, 4 Ivory Tower, 484 McChaos, 50 Biohazard Jess, 513 Julia Pfeiffer, 533 Hershey Bad, 555 Volta Morgan, 717 Bertha Blue Blazes, 83 LL Cujo, 88 Pale Raptor, and 934 Lady Dementor. Back to the track. That's Trouble picking up lead for the She-Devils. Her opposition is Chickadee Wallop, who was part of the jammer rotation yesterday for Twin State. Pat keeping it slow and cozy in turn 1. The awkward blocker sandwich was just too much to bear for Trouble, so the jam is called. And the apex jump that thought they could but didn't land very well, thankfully did not cause damage to anyone. No points on that apex jump for Twin State, and just 1 point for the She-Devils, 13-1. We are 4.5 minutes into the game as we approach Jam 5. A 3-on-3 blocker pack as each team has a blocker in the penalty box. Oh no, that is not a blocker. I am sorry. Twin State's jammer went to the box at the end of jam. So it is a power start for Danny Longlegger of Penn Jersey. Lead to her credit. We have a tentative pack between turns 1 and 2. The pack advantage, of course, was for Upper Valley. And they are working in the backstretch to detain Danny Longlegger. But not enough. Burns a few seconds, but she's able to exit and pick up 5 points. And a little bit of fire under Chickadee Wallop coming out of the penalty box. Danny Longlegger adheres to the call-off from her bench. No points despite Chickadee Wallop's effort to hustle. 2 points up for Danny Longlegger. A total of 7 on that jam, bringing the She-Devils to 20 to Twin State's 1. About 24 minutes, 15 seconds left in the half. She-Devils starting with their pivot in the penalty box and 1 blocker from Upper Valley. So 3-3 in the pack for reals this time. Making quick work on the inside line. That's Reanimator. Lead for Penn Jersey. Bertha Blue Blazes. Change up in the jammer rotation for Twin State Derby. We haven't seen Bertha Blue Blazes in the rotation yesterday, but here she is. So it should be nice to see what she can bring to the table. 0 points for Twin State and just a single point, little by little, Penn Jersey building their lead. And if you were out there watching our stream this morning on YouTube, make sure you tell your friends. You can, of course, share the link on Facebook or whichever method of social media you prefer. But if you subscribe to Mass Maelstrom's YouTube channel, you can receive notifications when we go live the rest of the day to bring you all of the live action in MRDA and WFTDA sanctioned gameplay here at the Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational 2018. And we have Biohazardous back on the track with the star for Twin State. And again, they are in blue. Sneaky Spice with the She-Devils in red. We have 1 Upper Valley blocker to the box. We're seeing lots of drawbacks happening on both jammers. Back to turn 1. Biohazardous, despite a hit, ends up with a cut track penalty. So power jam for Sneaky Spice, and she just snags lead about 35 seconds in. So seeing some strong defense from Twin State. But not enough in this case, as the She-Devils do a good job of distracting the defense, allowing 5 points from Sneaky Spice. She-Devils sending another blocker to the penalty box. A slow pack between turns 3 and 4. Twin State regrouping in a 4-wall, seeing what they can do with their pack advantage, but seeing a little bit of offense coming in. Shell Shock returning from the penalty box. Between that and the spin moves of Sneaky Spice. And a quick tumble, but Sneaky Spice back up and running. 5-point grand slam to her credit. A total of 15 points in this jam. Seeing Shell Shock with the drawback on Biohazardous after she returns from the penalty box. Biohazardous has stashed the star. And the She-Devils going for the cut. That was actually Monster 3000 with the drawback. Now the pack moving in the front stretch, just getting into turn 1, keeping it slow. We have a team timeout being called by Twin State Derby. And let's meet those She-Devils from Penn Jersey Roller Derby. 0, Glitz and Glam. This is, of course, the charter roster. 80, Danny Longlegger. 1,000, Shell Shock. 13, Mullen Munster. 17, Booty Vicious. 28, Reanimator. 3,000, Monster. 36, Trouble. 39, Bomber. 4, Strawberry Tough Cake. 4415, Pop-Tart. 45, Ruby Bruise Day. 52, Stella Threat. 53, Classy Chassis. 7, Southern Discomfort. 789, Sneaky Spice. 84, John Doe. 89, Nick Nasty. 91, D's. And 99, Anita Body Bag. So getting everything started here on Sunday morning, day 2, Battle of Bunker Hill 2018. We have a lot going on as we move on today. Our schedule, which I will recap with you later. Oh, we have transitioned into an official timeout after the team timeout. So I do have time to tell you about our schedule. So, of course, kicking things off with the She-Devils and Upper Valley Vixens of Twin State Derby. At 11 a.m., we'll have the Central New York Nightmares taking on Hartford Area Roller Derby's Whalers. 1 p.m., we return to MRDA action. We have Philadelphia Hooligans versus Mass Maelstrom, which is always a fun pairing. And at 3 p.m., Toronto Outrage versus the Quad Fathers of Mohawk Valley Roller Derby. And returning to WFTDA action at 5 with Twin States Upper Valley Vixens versus Central New York's Nightmares. And, of course, switching things around to close out the day, 7 p.m., will be Hartford Area Roller Derby's Whalers versus the Penn Jersey She-Devils. So lots to see today here at the Battle of Bunker Hill 2018. And feel free to say hello if you are out on Twitter with hashtag talk2BOBH. That's right, talk2BobH. The power start for Trouble as Voldemorgan in the box. Appears to have been a late assessed penalty. So meanwhile, the pack keeping it close and slow as it just ekes into the back stretch. Hershey Bad and company doing their part to hold back Trouble. They say ain't nobody got time for that. So keeping it slow, still in the mid-back stretch. A little bit of offense coming from number 17. That would be Booty Vicious. Trouble is released, adding 5 points for the She-Devils. Voldemorgan in the pack in the back stretch. Pushing it out into turn 3. Able to get right on that last line of defense. There was an illegal contact penalty called on number 4. That would be Strawberry Tough Cake. Off to the penalty box she goes. So now 2 She-Devils blockers in the box and the pivot from Upper Valley. Booty Vicious with the drawback on Voldemorgan in the front stretch. Meanwhile, in turn 1, we have Trouble pushing it out. 5 points for Trouble. 4 points for Voldemorgan. So it's the first jam in, I believe, about 6 jams for Twin State to add any points. It just went from 1 to 5. So a big gain for them considering a run of scoreless jams. 14-4 on that in favor of the She-Devils. Currently 54 Penn Jersey, 5 Twin State Derby. And we are 11 and a half minutes in, heading into Jam 9. And something off camera that you cannot see, or maybe if there's a wide angle, I don't know, but in turn 2 where PJRD has set up their cheering section, right behind them, there is an inflatable unicorn pool where we have fans and skaters sitting in it, hanging out. No water, of course, but they are sitting comfily in the venue and watching the game. It's quite the sight. But something else that's quite the sight, Bertha Blue Blaze is breaking the pack after Danny Longlegger snags lead. 4 points up for Danny Longlegger. The pack in turn 2. Racing to catch Bertha Blue Blazes as she adds 4. They're now in the backstretch heading into turn 3. Taking Danny Longlegger to the lines, but not enough. She's able to juke past, gets around. Adding 4. Bertha Blue Blazes cycled back to the mid-back stretch. Aiming for the inside line, but swept inward. The She-Devils defense is relentless, working to take Bertha Blue Blazes to the lines as she pushes them into turn 4. Cycled back just slightly. Is an incredibly strong tripod, working dynamically to cycle and send Bertha Blue Blazes to the infield, back to the start of turn 4. Now pushing past the pivot line, Bertha Blue Blazes pulls a cut track call, so we'll have a power start for the She-Devils. And not too shabby, Danny Longlegger putting up 17 points to Twin States 4. So currently the She-Devils at 71 points to 9. We're about 14 minutes in. And the power start lineup, She-Devils giving the jammer line some space, but seeing the Twin State Derby lineup attempting to take the momentum away from Ray Animator, who has the star for this power start. Seeing some interference from the She-Devils, working to provide some however, Ray Animator still in the pack. That's because Hershey Bad, that is Twin State's pivot, putting in some work, really making it difficult for Ray Animator to have any space. She says, I take your space and bring you to the line. Ray Animator keeps pushing, taking the line of 4 blockers from Twin State out of turn 2 to the edge of the back stretch. And we have a forearm call on Bertha Blue Blazes as soon as she returns to the track. Ray Animator taking down the back stretch. There's a forearm call on Ray Animator, so we'll have a little jammer switcheroo. Meanwhile, tentative pack in the back stretch. Everyone's regrouping. We have She-Devils taking the back. And now the pack rolling backward to turn 2. She-Devils reform a tripod up front. Meanwhile, Twin State holding one back, but Bertha Blue Blazes takes advantage of an open inside line. And Ray Animator and re-enters the track right in front of Bertha Blue Blazers, both on scoring passes. Hershey Bad jumping in, attacking the links of the tripod at the front of the pack, helping Bertha Blue Blazes, if only for a second, reducing the wall to 2. Then she's able to take it right to the extent of the pack, adding 4 points for Twin State. Ray Animator still stuck in the pack at Jam's End. 0 points for Penn Jersey on that pass, but a total of 4 points for Twin State Derby, taking them to 15 to the She-Devils 71. Full complement of blockers in a nice empty penalty box as Chickadee Wallop wearing the star for Twin State versus Sneaky Spice of Penn Jersey. Chickadee Wallop fired up out of the pack. Lead to her credit, off to a speedy start. Meanwhile, Sneaky Spice getting shut down by Wild Rumpus and Schemstress. It was a no point, no penalty. And we're seeing Shell Shock off to the penalty box. 5 points up for Chickadee Wallop. Sneaky Spice still on the initial. Now she's coming, she just broke through and now hitting the pack, but no points for Penn Jersey on that jam. So the first, I would say for the last 3 jams, She Devils have been held scoreless. And that was a 9-point jam, a huge jam if you're looking at things so far for Twin State, taking them to 24 points, working little by little to bridge the score gap. 4-2 pack advantage for Twin State Derby. Trouble is your jammer for the She Devils, but that is Biohazardous with the star for Twin State Derby. Wide awake and out the pack. Lead for Twin State. Adding 5. The pack mindfully watching for Biohazardous. In turn 1, she makes it through, calls it. And that's 9 points. Courtesy of Biohazardous, taking Twin State to 33. She Devils staying at 71. We have 11 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the first half. Heading into Jam 13. Our jam timer had his hand up for the 5 seconds, but then it appears that there were no She Devils on the track, and they called a team timeout. And something I was advised, you'll see the coaching staff approaching the skaters on the track for Twin State. Their coach, formerly known as Bob, in his dazzling cat or kitten swim trunks, going with his super fancy business-like vest, I've been advised that he has now decided to go with the name John Snowflake. So no longer shall he be known as Bob, because that's not his real name, and I guess everyone thinks it is. He is John Snowflake. Mass Maelstrom would like to thank the following sponsors for supporting our raffles this weekend at Battle of Bunker Hill. Of course, you have to be in-house to take advantage of these great raffles, but thanks to Central Rock Gym, O'Neill Cinemas, Treehouse Brewery, Wachusett Brewery for your contributions. We'll be returning to gameplay. The jam is on. Voldemorgan wearing the star for Twin State. Up against Danny Longlegger. And it is Danny Longlegger, lead to her credit, but getting caught up on a pumpkin carver right in turn two's apex. We have a forearm call against Voldemorgan, so a power jam gifted to the She Devils. Danny Longlegger getting by with a quick spin move on the inside line at the turn 3 apex, adding 5 to the She Devils tally. Clockwise block called on red 3-1-3. Actually 1-3-1-3. That's Mullen Munster off to the penalty box. Voldemorgan standing in the penalty box, so she'll be returning shortly. Currently the pack between turns 3 and 4, and Danny Longlegger pushing it out against the Twin State defense, making it tough, taking down blockers as she breaks through the seams. 5 points are her reward. Voldemorgan does pass the star to Midnight Crasher once she returns to the track. Pack in the front stretch, but the jam is called before any points go up for Midnight Crasher. It was a 19-point jam for the She Devils. Biggest jam in the game thus far. 90 points is where they sit over Twin State's 33. and just 9 minutes left in the half. Ray Animator versus Bertha Blue Blazes. Bertha Blue Blazes still at the jammer line being held by the She-Devil defense, while Ray Animator coming up on her scoring pass, lead to her credit. Ray Animator picks up a penalty, so Bertha Blue Blazes had passed the star to Wild Rumpus, her pivot. So we will continue without lead, though Wild Rumpus will take full advantage of this power jam, making no hesitation getting into the pack and attacking the seams presented by the She-Devils. We have a low block call on Mass Maelstrom of the She-Devils. Off to the penalty box in the back stretch, down the mid straightaway. Wild Rumpus fighting it out against the last two She-Devils, adding 5. Ray Animator back to the track, making quick work already in the back stretch. Wild Rumpus pushing the pack into turn 3. Ray Animator picks up a forearm call and has a second trip to the penalty box. Wild Rumpus fighting it out against the last remaining 2 blockers. Oh no, make it 3 because she's been recycled into the pack right around the jammer line. Strawberry Tough Cake back to the penalty box, so joining her jammer, keeping her company while we wait. Pack slowly but surely going to turn 1. We have a cut call on Wild Rumpus right at jam's end, so her jam time, her penalty time will start upon the next jam start. And since we had our Penn Jersey jammer standing in the box, she's been released. Power start for Penn Jersey. Fielding Sneaky Spice, number 789. We have an official timeout upon us. If you are just joining us, we have Twin State Derby in blue versus Penn Jersey She-Devils out there in red. And thank you for joining us early on the stream here on Sunday morning. Don't mind the shuffling in the background. We're just moving around some furniture. We have an excellent perch here. Best seat in the house. Essentially, the shot that you are seeing is being taken from the same area as the announcer perch. And we get perfect overview of the track. But it's a little bit of a tight space, so if we have to get past each other or move some chairs, you might hear a little bumping around. So thanks for bearing with us. So it was an 8-2 jam in favor of Twin State Derby on that last one, taking them to 41 and the She-Devils to 92. 6.5 minutes remain till we reach halftime. So Ray Animator immediately released from the penalty box at jam start. Lead is open. And there was a 4-3 pack advantage at the jam's beginning, but now we are at full staff of blockers. Lead has been declared. It is Ray Animator. Though Twin State Derby really working the penalty kill, Hershey Bed drives out Ray Animator right before turn 3. Cycles her back mid-back stretch. And then she's caught up, stashes the star. Meanwhile, Wild Rumpus back on the track is now on a scoring pass. pack picking up some speed, heading toward the pivot line, putting the brakes on right before turn 1, doing their best to take Wild Rumpus out, but Wild Rumpus cannot be tamed. Pushing it up on the toe stops and able to get around, staying inbounds and in play. 4 points up for Twin State Derby. Sneaky Spice breaks the pack, adds 4. Wild Rumpus trying another way, going toward the lines, getting caught up in the middle of that brace 2 wall in the front of the pack in turn 3. She Devils have been successful at slowing Wild Rumpus this time around. Stashes a star, hands it off to Hershey Bad. Hershey Bad plowing through and around, going shoulder to shoulder at the front of the pack, being taken to the lines by the Ben Jersey defense. 4-4-1-5, Pop-Tart popping the shoulder at Hershey Bad. Total of 3 points for Penn Jersey on the last pass. So a 12-6 jam in favor of the She Devils, who have broken the 100-point mark. They're at 104 over Twin State's 47. And just over 4 minutes to go till we hit halftime, jam 16. That's Biohazard Jess and Trouble. Biohazard Jess snagging lead for Twin State. Perhaps a change that they need in order to gain control. She Devils defense able to slow Biohazard Jess just a hair. But she picks up 5 points. The She Devils passing the start to Anita Bodybag was about a quarter, I'd say about a third lap behind Biohazard Jess, who's aware of Anita Bodybag's emergence, calls it off after picking up 2 points. So a total of 7 on that jam, taking Twin State to 54 to She Devils 104. We have a team timeout for Twin State. Oh, that team timeout has turned into an official review. And just a reminder, in our Facebook event page for Battle of Bunker Hill, there's a link for you if you would like to get your hands on some exclusive customized Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational 2018 merchandise. So utilize that link even if you can't be in-house. You can still get your hands on some of that awesome exclusive merch. So check out Mass Maelstrom's Facebook page under events for Battle of Bunker Hill 2018, and you should see a link for the merchandise, and you can get yourself all decked out nice. And did you know that the Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational 2018 is an MRDA endorsed tournament? That's right. So it is one of a handful of MRDA endorsed tournaments this year. So it's nice and exciting to see high quality MRDA member league play, which of course we will see a few of those games later today. Yesterday we had 4 MRDA sanctioned games and 2 sanctioned WFTDA games. Today we have the opposite. There are 2 sanctioned MRDA games and 4 sanctioned WFTDA games. So got to keep it even, and it's been great to see the change in format this year because it adds a whole new level of interest, because we know that there are lots of derby leagues in the area, and it's really nice to see the teams who have been invited to showcase their talents. And right now we have miniature dance party going on, courtesy of Upper Valley's Twin State Derby's Upper Valley Vixens. While they waited, little grooving. And a huge thank you to our sponsor, Bagel Haven, based in Mashpee, Massachusetts. They provide a whole new bagel experience, offering a variety of tasty bagel options, including their new low-carb keto bagels. Thank you, Jamie Lee Hurtis of Providence Roller Derby, for your generous donation and fueling our officials. Check out Bagel Haven at Bagel Haven Cape Cod on Facebook. And if you're ever in the neighborhood, down in Cape Cod, of course, stop by 681 Falmouth Road in Mashpee, Massachusetts. And in the venue today, she's been here all weekend. We've got Goldie Gloves with Unicycle Turtle. If you want to shop from home, of course, Unicycle Turtle has an Etsy shop, so don't be afraid to check out the wares offered by Unicycle Turtle. It is a Derby-owned business, producing a variety of heat-pressed goods here in the venue while you wait. And, of course, you can order things through the Etsy shop as well. Visit Goldie Gloves at the Unicycle Turtle booth if you are in-house today or later today, and you can see the offerings available. They even have blank koozies, so isn't that nice? All right, back to the track. Chickadee Wallop, fire in the belly, snagging lead about a quarter lap ahead of Danny Longlegger. That pack is full speed ahead. It's already made a full lap and a half. Chickadee Wallop going for the quick call off, taking the 2 points and, taking 2 points and running with it, keeping the She-Devils scoreless. Twin State Derby 56, She-Devils 104, just under 2 minutes left on the period clock. Pack off to a slow start with Penn Jersey's defense putting the brakes on. Not enough to hold Bertha Blue Blazes. Picks up lead while Ray Animator stuck in the back of the pack behind the pivot line still. There's a clockwise block call on number 39. That will be Bomber for She-Devils. She-Devils defense still keeping the brakes on. Bertha Blue Blazes pushing that tripod, the tripod of red, into turn 2 in the back stretch. A forearm call on Strawberry Tough Cake. Add 5 points for Bertha Blue Blazes. Current pack advantage 3-2 for Twin State Derby. Ray Animator able to break the pack, but 18 points already being added. Oh, I apologize. 15 points for Twin State Derby to the 4 for the She-Devils on this jam. Bertha Blue Blazes getting caught up around the jammer line. She-Devils defense all over her, but not able to hold her back, attacking those links. Ray Animator driven to the outside and strung back at jam's end. A huge jam to end the first half for Twin State Derby. 19 points takes them to 75, and 7 points for the She Devils takes them to 111. So that's right, within 30. Oh, no, there were 10 points on that jam for the She Devils, so 114 is where they sit. So really not much separates the two teams, and it seems that Twin State coming back at it with a vengeance. So it should be interesting to see what the future holds in our second half. I'll be back in about 13 minutes. Again, Beautiful Banshee here, live from the Wallace Civic Center in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, home of Mass Maelstrom Roller Derby and the Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational 2018. See you soon. This is muted, right? Our teams are ready, and we are returning to gameplay. Don't mind me, I just took a little jog around the venue. So we ended the first half with a 19-7 jam in favor of Twin State Derby, placing She Devils at 111 to 75. Okay, we've got 2 Upper Valley blockers in the box, 1 standing for immediate release. It is Danny Longlegger taking lead jammer over Biohazard Jess, taking lead. Pat keeping it slow in turn 2. Danny Longlegger working around Wild Rumpus, ducking to the inside and picks up 4. Three-on-three blocker lines as 1 blocker per team in the penalty box. We have both jammers, though, so that's helpful. Will DeMorgan wearing the star for Twin State. So if you are just joining us, Twin State Derby in blue, the Penn Jersey She Devils in red. That's Ray Animator. Makes it through the pack, however, a no point, no penalty, so not lead. Lead still open. Voldemorgan pushing it out in turn 1. Has the 2-wall. Picks up lead. And, of course, Ray Animator on our scoring pass. Coming around on the outside with a quick transition. Picks up 4 points. Voldemorgan through, adding 4 and quickly calls it off, preventing any additional points for the She Devils. So 4-4 to start things off in Jam 2. 119 She Devils, 79 Twin State. Both teams at full staff. The jam is on. And both jammers seem to be getting caught up in the awkward blocker sandwich presented right after the jammer line. But it appears that Bertha Blue Blaze is fighting it out at the front. She's able to break free. And now caught up in a brace 2-wall of She Devils. Taken to the turn 1 apex line. Also taken to the outside line. So a cube, if you will, just momentarily, courtesy of the She Devils. And 30 seconds it takes for Bertha Blue Blazes to snag lead. Sneaky Spies being driven back in turn 2 all the way to turn 1 by Twin State. A 1-0 jam in favor of Twin State Derby, taking them to 80 points. We have an official timeout in progress. And speaking of officials, currently on track, we have our Rubik's Crew out there. That's what they're calling themselves, the ref and our overall officials crew out there. So your referees are Rhea Culpa, Scooby Drew, Refs in Style, Marquita Sass, Wife Apathic Signals, Tim the Ref, Peterson, and Axis of Stevel. The non-skating officials are Hop Along, Toxic Narcotic, Fatal Exception, Gene Knockout, Down in Jersey, Pam DeBear, No Ship, Sherlock, Babble Fishy, Kinky Linky, and WEB Destroys. Head NSO of this crew is Toxic Narcotic, and head referees of this crew are Rhea Culpa and Scooby Drew. Jam 4 is in progress. Your jammers are Trouble and Chickadee Wallop, both stuck in the pack currently as it slowly moves into turn 1. We have the Penn Jersey defense in the front working on Chickadee Wallop, and we're seeing the brakes being put on by both defense defenses, but it is a brace 2 wall in front from Penn Jersey that is giving hell to Chickadee Wallop. Now Penn Jersey able to work on Chickadee Wallop till mid-back stretch, but she's able to get free. Secures lead status. The 2 Upper Valley blockers to the penalty box. There was a star pass to Mullen Monster, the pivot, currently with the star in hand. Able to push through on the turn 3 apex. The hat is not yet on the helmet. Chickadee Wallop calling it off. And it looks like we have a call. I believe that was on Hershey Bad, the pivot from Twin State. So seeing some penalty trouble currently for Twin State Derby. We have 3 blockers in the box. That's right, I said 3. We've got 2 seated and 1 standing. So we have 1 lone blocker to start the jam. Biohazard is the jammer for Twin States. Danny Longlegger for the She-Devils. She-Devils defense automatically shutting it down for what they can on Biohazard. Danny Longlegger makes quick work up the inside line, secures lead. Meanwhile, Biohazard cycled back to the jammer line, working defensively against Danny Longlegger. It is not enough. 2 blockers bracing. Oh, there we go. We have 3 blockers on the track now for Twin State. Danny Longlegger coming up on our second scoring pass. Biohazard knocked to the inside. It's by number 45. That would be Ruby Bruceday. Seeing some strong blocking from the She-Devils. Able to detain Biohazard into turn 2, but it appears a star pass has occurred. Hershey Bad hot on the heels of Danny Longlegger, though the hat is not on. So no points for Twin State, and a total of 9 on that jam for the She-Devils, taking them to 128 over Twin State's 84. We have 24 minutes left on the period clock. The Twin State side of the penalty box has emptied out. We have the pivot for Penn Jersey in the box, so a 43-pack advantage for Twin State. Ray Animator in the star for Penn Jersey, and Voldemorgan for Upper Valley. Pack keeping it slow, still just about the pivot line area, but Voldemorgan able to make a quick move to the outside, stays safe side, picks up lead. Ray Animator still in the pack, though has stashed the star. Perhaps passing. We see a pivot nearby. But a whole lot of commotion going on in turn 2 right now. Voldemorgan working on the Penn Jersey defense as it heads into the back stretch. Meanwhile, we have number 3000. That would be Monster. Did accept the pass. But Voldemorgan hits the floor, out of breath, working hard, calls it. Keeps any points from Penn Jersey. And receives a hard-earned 5 points. Takes Twin State to 5 on that jam, but 89 in total. 128 for the She-Devils. So something fun that I observed yesterday while I was working a house call for a She-Devils game, in addition to, of course, the colorful and fun fan base of Philadelphia and Penn Jersey roller derby, they actually have a boombox on their bench, so they listen to music as they're getting ready, and I think I can still hear some from the bench. It's pretty impressive that they're just rocking out the whole time. Back to the track, that is Sneaky Spice. About a third of a lap ahead of Bertha Blue Blazes. On her scoring pass, calls it off before Twin State picks up any, and just 1 single point takes the She-Devils to 129. So yes, as I was saying, for the She-Devils, it appears to be a party on the bench. Both of their coaches in tropical attire, Hawaiian shirts, if you will. So I guess one thing you can say about Philly, the party don't stop. And I have been there and enjoyed April Lakes this year, and I would have to agree. Pack off to a slow start, making sure they put the brakes on the jammers. And those jammers for Penn Jersey, that is Trouble and Twin State, Chickadee Wallop. So we're seeing that familiar rotation. And of course, Hershey Bad at the helm of a defensive to wall. Oh, now it has rotated to Wild Rumpus at the front. Chickadee Wallop pushing out a cube of She-Devil blockers. At the start of the back stretch, Chickadee Wallop giving it all she's got up on those toe stops. An attempted offense from 206. That would be Elizabeth Taylor. Does take down Chickadee. She's able to bounce back, recover, but then gets taken to the outside line at the end of the back stretch and cycled back to the start. That was by D's, number 91 on the She-Devils. Trouble still working at it. Lead is still open, and there are only 40 seconds left in the jam. You want to talk about frustrating. And Trouble getting hit out by Twin State Derby. Oh, looks like Wild Rumpus had gone out of bounds. But lead finally declared with 28 seconds left on the jam clock for Chickadee Wallop. That had to have been the most excruciating time in order to get lead declared. Chickadee Wallop cycled back to turn 3. Pack moving into turn 4. Chickadee Wallop able to scoop by with a quick hop, calls it off. We'll see all 4 points if they apply. Indeed they do. Penn Jersey picking up 3. So 4-3 for Twin State on that jam, taking them to 93, and She-Devils sit at 132. 19 minutes remain, heading into jam 9. Our jam is on. That is Biohazard just pushing it out against the She-Devils defense as they strung out into turn 2. Lead to her credit. Meanwhile, Danny Longlegger stashed the stars, able to exit the pack. Pack keeping it slow as it heads into the back stretch. Everybody getting rather spread out. A quick 4 points for Biohazard just. Twin State Derby at 97. She-Devils 132. Four to 3 pack advantage for Twin State as we have Ruby Bruce Day in the penalty box for She-Devils. Reanimator working against the Twin State Derby defense. Very slowly coming out of the pack, watching the referees. I guess there was a question because of a coinciding whistle, but lead going to Reanimator. Reanimator swept to the outside, but it was a no point, no penalty. Picking up 4. We have Twin State Derby's jammer having a seat, perhaps hitting the floor wrong, being questioned by their bench staff. So we'll see if there's any medical attention needed. An official timeout while we wait. And don't forget, Coming up next, we have an additional WFTDA matchup. That will be the Whalers of Hartford area roller derby taking on the Nightmares of Central New York. So in for a treat. And after that, we will have the Hooligans from Philadelphia taking on Mass Maelstrom, our host league. So very nice to see that particular pairing, because it's always a lot of fun. And, you know, just perhaps a little sense of rivalry, but always a lot of love. Stryker, who's a former skater for Mass Maelstrom, who was with them for a very long time, as well as Cilantro, are now with the Hooligans. So a little added fun on the track, you know, friendly competition, nothing wrong with that. So should be an interesting one to watch. And after that, we'll see our friends from Toronto, the Outrage, versus the Quadfathers. That's at 3 p.m. And at 5 p.m., our Upper Valley Vixens from Twin State Derby will be taking on the Central New York Nightmares. So a busy day for the WFTDA games in particular. We're seeing a little bit more of a heavy schedule because yesterday it was a heavy MRDA day. And then closing out at 7 p.m., we'll have the Whalers from Hartford area roller derby taking on the She-Devils of Penn Jersey. Thanks for bearing with us through this extended official timeout. As we know, it is important to make sure medical attention is given, because one can never know with roller derby the myriad of injuries that one can accrue, and we take them seriously. So just going to pause for a few moments until we're ready to resume gameplay. Thanks for bearing with us. Glad to see that Volda Morgan returning to her bench with only a little assistance, so I'm sure she's going to get the medical attention she needs. We have some excellent medical staff on hand here at Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational 2018, and thanks to our capable medical staff, we are grateful for you. The She-Devils bench is cheering, and we're trying to figure out exactly why. Looks like we have more members of the Hooligans in the house. People are happy that others are here. I don't quite know. I missed that, but I will have to inquire. We do have an official timeout continuing. I do believe in this case, likely track maintenance, but we shall see. And a huge thank you to our volunteers, of course. And specifically with the track maintenance, there's been a great need for it with so much tough gameplay this weekend. The track does take a beating. And as I like to call them, some people say that they're track ninjas, tape ninjas, whatever. But I like to say that they are adhesive demarcation technicians. So, I don't know. Perhaps it just sounds like a fancier title. I may have borrowed that, but it is quite great, in my opinion. So we've been saying on the stream how the party doesn't stop at the She-Devils bench, and a couple of my fellow announcers were just in the background, so I muted, but Crimson Alchemia and Q were discussing, hey, where's the music coming from? We see them dancing over near the bench for the She-Devils. That's right, the party doesn't stop in Philly, and they bring it wherever they go. That's just how they roll. So always a good time with the She-Devils and the Hooligans, and always a good time with roller derby, of course. So we have 17 minutes, 11 seconds that will remain in the game once we resume gameplay. And the She-Devils were sitting at 136 over Twin States 97. Oh, full dance party over at the She-Devils bench, including the coaches. Now that is a good time. And some on-track dancing, too. Oh, yes. We have some coming from Upper Valley. And then we have a little fun arm movement dance. You know, these are the things. The simple things amuse me. I would much rather be easily amused than be joyless. And there's plenty of joy here in the house at Wallace Civic Center this morning. Even though we're waiting, we sure know how to amuse ourselves. That's for sure. And make sure to mark your calendars. In case you haven't heard, Mass Maelstrom is hosting the MRDA's North American Playoffs August 4th and 5th, 2018. So mark those calendars. Come visit Massachusetts. Definitely stay tuned and watch the Men's Roller Derby Association Facebook page and web page, MRDA.com. Oh, there's even dancing in the penalty box right now. Feeling it. But most definitely check those out so you can get your tickets and come up to Massachusetts. If you haven't been, it is a good time, and we'd love to see you and be able to take part in our North American playoffs. It'll be a blast. So make sure you get those tickets once they become available. And our jam timer getting a rest during this official timeout, because it can be quite the experience. It can be a little bit excruciating if you're out there for a very long time doing the official timeout signal. So one of our fantastic referees standing in, taking care of it. And Rhea Culpa, who appears to be head ref on this game, is demonstrating an appropriate way to not overexert yourself. And the conferring continues. We'll be back shortly. Our referees are in position. We should see the closeout of this official timeout shortly. It appears they are poised and ready to return to gameplay. There you have it. So pack advantage 4-2 for the She-Devils, as we have two Twin State Derby skaters in the penalty box. Luckily blockers and both jammers on the track. So we have Sneaky Spice snagging lead pretty quickly for the She-Devils. Meanwhile, Bertha Blue Blazes caught up in a collection of blockers from She-Devils and going on an angle, seeing what she can do, but gets driven to the inside. Meanwhile, on the scoring pass, Sneaky Spice adds 5. Bertha Blue Blazes fighting it out and going for the inside line, but Sneaky Spice able to just sneak right by and lean into it. We've had a star pass on Twin State. That is to number 2400, Midnight Crasher. Pack ending up in the front stretch, and Sneaky Spice calls it off. Her official total of points, 14 for the Jam, 150 She-Devils, 97 Twin State. We have 16 minutes remaining in the game. Heading into Jam 12. Oh, and it appears the PRD fan section is awake. They've rolled out of bed and decided to join us. You know, it takes a little bit. We all need some coffee in the morning, don't we? All right, and speaking of someone who had their coffee, that's Hershey Bad, who we've seen as a clutch pivot. First time actually wearing the star at start of a Jam. Took a clear inside line and is just plowing into a brace 2-wall of She-Devils. Able to evade that last line of defense, adds 5 for Twin State. And She-Devils utilizing similar strategy, passing the star to 1,000. That would be Shell Shock. Hershey Bad getting caught up as the pack just slowly moves, courtesy of her pushing out the She-Devils into the back stretch. Shell Shock able to come around, adds 4. Meanwhile, Hershey Bad still working, hoping for a little bit of offense. Comes a little too late from Schemstress. She-Devils force out Hershey Bad in turn 3, and she calls it off. It appears the She-Devils just received a multiplayer block penalty, so it'll be a pack advantage 4-3 starting off next Jam for Twin State. So it was 8-4 Jam, courtesy of Twin State on that last one. So taking them to 105, She-Devils sit at 154. 14 minutes, 25 seconds to go. And Jammers doing their damnedest, pushing on the toe stops. It is Biohazardous who will exit first. Lead secured for Twin State. I always want to say Upper Valley, but then I went to Twin Valley, but that sounds like a bad teen novel. But a swarm of Upper Valley blockers working clearing the lane for Biohazardous. 5 points up for Twin State. Twin State's pivot off to the box, and meanwhile it had been a power jam for Biohazardous. The trouble exiting the box. Twin State defense not enough to hold trouble, comes around safe side. No points yet. That was the initial pass. An additional Twin State blocker to the box. Their pivot standing. 5 points up for Biohazardous. And 2 Twin State blockers are not able to contain trouble. Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. Meanwhile, Biohazardous watching, still pushing past the last 2 She-Devils. Going along on this one, despite lead, picks up 4. Currently 14-4 in favor of Twin State on this jam. 2 She-Devils blockers off to the penalty box, so a 4-2 advantage in favor of Twin State. Biohazardous calls it off, keeping the advantage heading into our next jam. A 19-8 jam in favor of Twin State, taking them to 124. She-Devils at 162. 12 minutes, 20 seconds remain. And if you are just joining us, we have the Penn Jersey She-Devils in red and the Upper Valley Vixens of Twin State Derby in blue. Danny Longlegger wearing the star for PJRD. And that is Chickadee Wallop for Upper Valley. But lead going to She-Devils. About a quarter lap behind Chickadee Wallop, making good time. Pack picking up a little speed. We have a brace 2-wall of Twin State blockers able to take Danny Longlegger out. Danny only received 3 out of the 4 points, so able to be effective in that regard, taking the She-Devils 165 to 124. Ring Animator versus Hershey Bed. Hershey Bed running the whole time out of the pack. Lead to her credit. Ring Animator passing the star to Shell Shocker Pivot. Pack picking up some speed as it heads into the back stretch. Hershey Bed not afraid to shoulder it out, attacking the seams. Able to get through, hit and quit. Picks up 4. That brings Twin State to 128. She-Devils remain at 165. 10 minutes, 18 seconds remain. Oh, thank you, Sternkind KP there for the flossing dance move. That was great. I couldn't think of the name. I appreciate that. See, this is why if you're on Twitter and you're watching the game, use the hashtag #TalkToBobH, because this way you can provide fun factoids to me. And one of the dance the youths do, or as my cousin Vinny says, the youths do the dance. So yeah, flossing. It was super cute. So thank you for that, and thanks for watching. Okay, it was a 3-0 jam in favor of the She-Devils, 168 to 128, so that 40-point score gap. Twin State really working on narrowing it. We have an official timeout. 9 minutes, 11 seconds remain in the game, and we will be heading into Jam 17. And I'll have to let Crimson Alchemia know about the flossing dance. I don't know if he is familiar with that move. His typical go-to is the Bernie, but I think it could use some help. So time to refresh and tell him to floss. We've also had a roller derby merch in the house, courtesy of Deb Crush. Make sure you check out rollerderbymerch.com. She has a whole array of merch to suit your roller derby wardrobe needs. And something that I observed yesterday, because Deb was on hand in-house in our vendor village, and someone received a rollerderbymerch.com shirt, and it has on its tag, the little paper tag attached, her derby headshot, and it says, you know, rollerderbymerch.com, Deb Crush. Absolutely fantastic. And I thought, what a way to do it, and just be like, oh, hey there, that's my derby headshot. Don't I look amazing? So of course, you know, it's a nice little touch. So definitely check out rollerderbymerch.com. Derby owned and operated by Deb Crush from Ithaca's League of Women Rollers. Our jam is on. Biohazard Jazz jamming for Twin State. Her opposition is Ray Animator. Biohazard Jess may have escaped first, but she is not lead, so lead's still open. Let's see what Ray Animator does, if she's even aware. It appears that Ray Animator stashed the star, so I'm not sure if a pass will occur. She's merely just trying not to be seen. Oh no, appears a cut track occurred, but that was against 11-11 on Twin State. Schemstress, she's off to the penalty box. Biohazard Jess coming around the back. Having to do a little fight. Puts up 4 points. The star was passed to Monster. So we'll go the full duration on this jam. So we got about 50 seconds left on the jam clock. 4 points up for Monster. Of all of the awkward blocker sandwich happening at the moment, and a lot of, up in your grill, face-to-face blocking. Now we have Monster caught up on a tripod of Twin State Derby. That's in turn 1. And the She-Devils stringing back to the jammer line, working on Biohazard Jess. Shell Shock off to the penalty box for Penn Jersey. So 2 blockers there. We had a little bit of a blocker switcheroo in the penalty box as far as Twin State goes. So 1 came out, 1 went back in. 4 points for each jammer. We reached the jam's natural conclusion, and it's a total of 8 points each. The She-Devils at 176 over Twin State's 136, that 40-point lead. And just under 7 minutes remain. The pack heading into turn 1, and it is Sneaky Spice. Up and out, lead secured for the She-Devils. Meanwhile, Chickadee Wallop was fighting up against the last 2 blockers from the She-Devils. She's about quarter lap behind. Sneaky Spice calls it off, keeping Twin State at 0 on the jam. She picks up 3, 179 Penn Jersey, 136 Upper Valley. This is a team timeout called by the She-Devils. Might as well use them because you can't take them with you, of course. Oh, and it's not the She-Devils. Sorry, it was indicated incorrectly on the scoreboard. It's Twin State calling the timeout. Okay, after the conclusion of She-Devils versus Twin State, up next we have the Nightmares of Central New York Roller Derby taking on Hartford's Whalers. So that'll be right around 11 a.m. So make sure you're sticking around here at the Battle Bunker Hill Invitational 2018. And after that, we'll have our host league, Mass Maelstrom, their Maelstrom team taking on the Hooligans of Philadelphia. Pack off to a slow start, but spinning out of the pack, not picking up a lead jammer, actually pulling a track cut. That is Hershey Bed to the penalty box. So that leaves Danny Longlegger and the She-Devils with the power jam. Pack slows it down as it approaches turn 4. A cube of blue blockers awaits Danny Longlegger, but she's able to sidestep as a great distraction presented. Oh, and that looks like it hurt. A shoulder check from Wild Rumpus right on the inside line, but Danny Longlegger able to spin around Wild Rumpus, adding 5 to the scoreboard. Okay, Hershey Bad back to the track. Going butt first into the tripod, has to work her way around. Really good at using those edges and working the momentum. A out of play block call on number 5-2. That would be Stella Threat from the She Devils. And it is a power jam. I didn't see the call on Danny Longlegger, but we'll see what Hershey Bad does with this, as only 5 points had been accrued by Danny Longlegger, who is now standing in the penalty box. And so nice and even as Hershey Bad has put up 5, coming back around on her next scoring pass with only a couple of She Devils blockers to contend with, able to get around trouble the last line of defense. Meanwhile, Danny Longlegger in the pack, hit out by Wild Rumpus and strung back mid-back stretch. A total of 10 points, so it was 10-9, so almost pretty even. 10-9 in favor of Twin State, putting them at 146, She Devils at 188. Just under 4 minutes remain. Jam 20. Here we go. Bertha Blue Blazes out there with the star for Twin State. Bomber is her opposition. Pack keeping it nice and slow. Currently in the straightaway. Not in the straightaway, but off through the straightaway. That would be Bomber. Snagging lead. Bertha Blue Blazes about a third a lap behind. Pack picks up a little speed into the back stretch and then comes to a halt. They see Bomber approaching. She decides to make it quick. Takes the points and runs with it. 4 for the She Devils. Brings them to 192 over Twin State's 146. We have a team timeout called by the She Devils. Sometimes it's nice to just have a breather. We know that, if you have those timeouts, why not use them? And see, the great thing about attending tournaments like this, like Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational and all of the other WFTDA and MRDA tournaments, is that you get to not only mingle with skaters and officials and volunteers from all other leagues. We have a ton of leagues represented here from across New England and across the country. But we also have quite the array of roller derby merchandise between all the different teams. So it gives you the opportunity to check out in person their merch wares. So one never knows what they might get. I know that Upper Valley Vixens of Twin State Derby had some absolutely fantastic variety of items. So definitely, if you get the chance at one of these tournaments, support your local roller derby teams or some of the others from out of the area who have some really cool stuff. But speaking of cool stuff, that's Biohazard just hot on the heels of Sneaky Spice, who is the lead jammer for the She Devils, commanding her skaters, her blockers, to amp up the speed. Oh, the jam is called off, keeping scoreless. So 192 She Devils, 146 Twin State. And 2 minutes, 10 seconds remain. And something I'm appreciating, I'm not sure if it's on the camera. No, it's not. The scorekeeping table is out of reach from our camera. But I can tell you, I'm looking right at it. And we have our GTO over there. That's Betty Mercury. And while sitting at that table, there is a full lineup of Polar Seltzer bottles, liters of Polar Seltzer throughout. So I see that we have a bunch of Polar Seltzer that's out back. We love our seltzer, so specifically Polar. But yes, I think somebody laid out very nicely the seasonal flavors. I may have to see if those belong to anybody. If not, I'm going to snatch one because it's delicious. This is an official review called by Twin State Derby. It appears that the team is using this as a timeout. They're just looking to burn things down. On the clock, that is. Now an official review called by the She-Devils. And it appears there actually is some conferring happening, so we'll see what we can get for information. It appears that the last official review we see obviously was a lost review. However, it appears to have been used for a rest. I guess people were just chatting. So I did reach out to get additional information, but that's all we have. Okay, back to the skating floor on the track right now. That is Danny Longlegger versus Chickadee Wallop. Danny Longlegger putting up 4 points. It was a 4-0 jam. That puts the She-Devils at 196, 50 points ahead of Twin State at 146. Just a minute and 20 seconds remain. Jam 23. Here we go. And it appears we have, oh, there's a dance party happening on the She-Devils bench, including their coaching staff. That's the thing. Roller derby is fun, folks. It should always be fun. And especially when I see people having a blast, it really just makes me happy. Sneaky Spice picks up lead. And it was a power start. So She-Devils seeing what they can do to bolster their lead. Of course, the point differential is crucial for WFTDA rankings. So seeing what they can do to improve their position. Wild Rumpus ends up with a clockwise block. It appears that there was a leg block assist. I'm not sure to who, because I'm not sure if they've actually left the track. We'll find out. Meanwhile, Chickadee Wallop working on the last two blockers put out by the She-Devils there. Oh, and she's taken down and out. Cycled back to the beginning of the back stretch by Ruby Bruce Day. Sneaky Spice working on an additional scoring pass. Picks up the 4. Incredibly hard fought. Chickadee Wallop taken out in the space right between turns 3 and 4. No points for Twin State Derby on that. Our unofficial final score appears to be 2:05 for the Penn Jersey She-Devils and 1:46 for Twin State Derby. We'll await official confirmation, of course. That whistle signals that the game is officially done. And of course, you'll see the teams appreciating each other with some high fives after our officials exit safely. It was a 10-0 jam for Penn Jersey to close it out, so they officially end it 206 points to 146 points. Congratulations, Penn Jersey.